Welcome along, folks. You are with me on iMtv, International Moose Television, the moose being this van that finds itself in Inverness. And I can't believe I find myself in the company of Daniel Boling. Daniel, Inverness, we're going to cover this and why you are in Inverness.
It's been a long time since we saw each
and
other face to face, without the internet in between.
I know, that's right. Yeah, and let's cover that as well. But how these broadcasts normally go is I ask the artist to introduce themselves in song. And then we'll have a little chat afterwards. Have you got one that would
Sure.
cover that?
I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico in the USA, and when the pandemic came along, my wife Ellen and I usually spend 10 or 11 months a year in a camper van going around the country doing music, and all of a sudden we were stuck in one place. I rediscovered the Sandia Mountains Wilderness area that's lies right along Albuquerque.
I need to come and discover that.
Oh yeah,
I haven't been up around that part.
I started spending a lot of time up there.
Is that town?
It's been declared wilderness, so the livestock has been taken out.
All right.
But there are still some old barbed wire fences up there in my mountains. They get in my way. They tangle up the wildlife.
Yeah.
And I was with the government for 30 years, so I know better than to ask for permission. It's better to just wait for forgiveness later on. I've started taking a little of that barbed wire out of there when I can to get it out of the way. And that figures into this near-death experience that I had, which in retrospect was humorous. At the time, it was not remotely funny. But I started writing this song about it. And I got to my next chance to visit with Tom Paxton. We write over the internet as well.
I want to touch on that in the interview as well.
And so I got to visit with Tom, and I gave him the start of this song that I made. He says, "Oh, yes, we'll write that one." So here you go. I was hiking the Sandias on a bright October day, hauling out some old barbed wire overdue to throw away. As I hiked, I started humming an old Kingston Trio song. I was fat and dumb and happy, thinking nothing could go wrong. I had my can of bear spray, any prudent hiker would. And you know, I've often wondered if this stuff is any good. I don't know how it happened, if I tripped or fell or what, but I went tail over teacups and came down on my butt. And my arm wound up in a crevice, and I heard a hissing sound. Figured let's try that again. My arm wound up in a crevice, and I heard.
Do you want to take it from the top?
Sure. I was hiking the Sandias on a bright October day, hauling out some old barbed wire overdue to throw away. As I hiked, I started humming an old Kingston Trio song. I was fat and dumb and happy, thinking nothing could go wrong. I had my can of bear spray, any prudent hiker would. And you know, I've often wondered if this stuff is any good. I don't know how it happened, if I tripped or fell or what, but I went tail over teacups and came down on my butt. My arm wound up in a crevice, and I heard a hissing sound. I felt an odd vibration as I scrambled from the ground, 'cause I figured I was snake bit, then I did a double take. It was a punctured can of bear spray, not an angry rattlesnake. You know, they call this darn stuff bear spray 'cause bears can barely stand it. Hikers towed it with them, that's why they went and canned it. It's filled with chili peppers that you might like in your chow, but in your eyes and lungs, well, they're a bit less fun somehow. There was bear spray on my flannel shirt and bear spray on my pants. On your naked skin, you know, this stuff will make you dance. I commenced disrobing quickly right there on the trail and staggered down the hill like some demented Chippendale. I drove my truck home praying that the cops were not around, 'cause I'd play hop explaining this strange stripper that they'd found. A fool half blind from bear spray in a beat up antique truck, and the other cops would tease him, Joe, don't you have all the luck? So remember, if you're hiking under dale and over hill, Murphy's Law's alive and well, boys. If it can go wrong, it will. You can never be too careful. Take this tip from Ranger Dan. Keep your backside off the barbed wire and your bear spray in the can.
Yes, indeed. That's one of life's great lessons and one of life's great morals from Daniel Boling. Thank you so much. It has to be Daniel C. Boling to find you.
It's C. Daniel, but we'll go with Daniel Boling. The C is for Charles. It honors my father. But,
isn't that lovely? Yeah. So, just before we move on, I want to talk about all of that happened there. Do you know a character, Scottish fella, that became a cattle baron in New Mexico and the Panhandle of Texas, called Murdo Mackenzie?
Well, everybody's heard the name, but we didn't meet him.
Well, it's probably Murdo's barbed wire that you got your ass caught up
probably
on.
Was.
He was one of the first to lay down. It was the Matador ranch system, which brought the cattle all the way up to Kansas City.
There's at least one barbed wire museum over there.
Is there? That's the sort of stuff that makes me travel, finding out stuff like that. Dan, okay, we're going to talk about your Tom Paxton connection, but sure. Let's talk about the connection that brought you to Scotland on this instance, because I can pretty much say that this is an exclusive performance for iMtv, because you're not here.
I'm not in performing. No,
under your own name anyway.
I'm here as a tourist.
Yeah.
On Scotland folk tours.
Yeah.
And what they do is they have some folk singer of note gather a group of his friends and his or her friends and fans. Yeah. And we get on a small coach and travel around in different parts of Scotland. This particular one is a Highland tour, and we've spent time all up through, we're in Inverness now, but we've been up to the Isle of Skye, and we started in Edinburgh, and we've made quite a loop here.
I know you've done really well. I've been following the Facebook stuff coming through.
And then, so the lead
it's a mutual friend of ours, isn't it?
Yes, the lead for this is Brian Kalinec.
Yeah.
And Brian is the president of Berkalin Records. Yeah. Which I record on, and also Jim Patton and Sherry Brokus, who are also on this trip. They record on the same label.
And they're going to come in and do a wee session for us as well.
And so
this will be...
Brian, as the host of this group of tourists, gets to do a couple of concerts for the tour group along the way, and he's been very generous to include me and Jim and Sherry. And so we did one earlier on the tour, and then we have another tonight. Yeah. I think you'll get to join us for that.
I've gate crushed. Good, I think I'm an official gate crusher in that one.
So, no, we're just thrilled to get to see so much of it. I've never been in the United Kingdom before in my lifetime.
Is that right?
I was born in Germany, and I've toured a little in Europe and in New Zealand and Australia.
Well, that's
and
ridiculous.
Canada, but I've never been to the UK.
So here,
before,
let's put the fingers together on this one. Let's hope you get to host the tour yourself.
Oh, that would be lovely, too. Yeah, who knows? Maybe sometime.
Yeah.
Tim Grimm started this whole thing.
I know, and I've talked to Tim about this, because and it's a mutual friend of yours and I. We did the very first, not with this company, but the very first Folksinger Highland tour, and we actually stayed in one of these houses while we were in Inverness with Charlie Roth.
Oh, lovely!
From Minnesota.
Yeah, Charlie's a great guy.
Yeah, so I'm an exponent of these, but also a big fan of the concept.
Yes,
it helps.
It goes well. Brian is a wonderful host. We have also had excellent tour guides,
and they fill in nights by bringing top-class Scottish musicians in as well.
Scottish musicians as well. Yes, we've had 3 wonderful concerts from some really first-class artists, and we have another coming up down in Sterling before we wrap up.
Yeah, and you know what? It'll give you a taste for touring here. And it'll also give you some contacts as well.
I hope so.
For when you come back.
Yes, indeed.
And count me in that one as well, Dan.
Absolutely.
And thanks again for doing this. So we're in the Moose, the Medicine Show Radio Moose Mobile. It is iMtv, International Moose Television. Our lead broadcaster page on this particular broadcast is Flying Shoes Review, but we are broadcasting to 15 different social media outlets at the moment. So thank you, wherever you are, for joining us. Please do. And I'll flash this up at the bottom of the screen. Please do join our YouTube channel and get notified to any of these broadcasts that are going live. At youtube.com, it's just easy, /Rob Ellen. That's where you'll find me on Facebook as well, Rob Ellen, and or Medicine Show Radio Miss Mobile. Okay, that's
you can find me over at danielboling.com.
Yeah, let's do that. I'll link that in as well, Daniel. Super. So we touched on this, and I'm going to flash up the new album.
Yes.
There's a name on there that you're not a music fan if you don't know that name.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The great Tom Paxton.
Tom Paxton, my word.
In fact, that song I started out with is a song Tom Paxton and I put on an earlier album.
You've got two albums
with
Tom, yeah.
Together. The album is called New Old Friends, and that song is
that's
called
a good way of putting
Bear
it.
Spray and Barbed Wire.
And that's
the thing. Tom and I had just only recently become friends.
Yeah.
And we wrote what is really the title song of that album, which is Old Friends.
Yeah.
But I couldn't call an album with Tom Paxton Old Friends when we were new friends.
Yeah.
So I suggested New Old Friends, and Tom said, that's wonderful.
Nailed it.
I did an album back in the late 60s called New Songs for Old Friends. He said it's like making a big circle.
It must be the most beautiful thing to tour and play with Tom. I'm going to talk about your songwriter retreats. I think that's a beautiful thing as well. But I would imagine, now I'm only guessing at this, but you couldn't tell a story that he wouldn't trumpet.
Well, he doesn't set out to.
No, but I can't imagine it wouldn't be that way.
No, the man will be 88 on Halloween of 2025, and there's a lot of water under that bridge. He knows everyone.
Yeah.
He's met everyone.
Yeah.
I've
met him once, and he was such a gentleman.
Oh, he absolutely is. I often comment with my wife, Ellen, the lovely Ellen. Our anniversary was yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I know. Congratulations.
And we got to spend it here. What a treat.
The most romantic setting for an anniversary you could imagine.
So.
Inverness.
We often comment on the old adage, don't meet your heroes, you'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in some cases that is true.
Yeah, I'm not naming names, but it is.
Yeah, but it is not the case with Tom Paxton. We finally, after a few just incidental meetings over the years, became well acquainted and became friends over the last 3 years. And he is exactly the person that you hope he will be when you listen to his songs. Yeah.
And his songs bear listening to at any time. They're timeless. And the ones that you've done with him as well are timeless too. They're going to last.
Thank you. We feel like we have, songwriters know or should know that not everything we write is golden.
Yeah.
And Tom and I certainly are aware of that. But of the songs we've written together, which now exceeds 75 songs we've written together, we feel like we have an unusually high ratio of keepers.
Right.
And hence
Well, you know that through your experience of keeping them and discarding them.
And knowing what...
And if Tom's going to keep one, it's like, yes.
Well, that was amazing to me.
Yeah.
One of the very first songs we wrote together, I started hearing from friends around the country, hey, I heard Tom Paxton play last night, and he did a song that you wrote together. And I thought, Tom is taking something well-known out of his sets to include the song he wrote with me.
Isn't that? I mean,
that tells me a lot about his belief in the song. So.
Yeah, and he'll forgive me for saying this, I hope, but I'm being a wee bit cheeky. Everybody needs a youngster to come along and give them a leg up.
Well, sure. Or just bring some fresh ideas in.
Fresh
ideas. And I'm by far not the youngest person Tom is writing with.
So you'll be looking for a youngster now.
I really met Tom through Jackson Emmer. Jackson is younger than That's my youngest.
That's right. I've seen all three of you on YouTube.
Sure.
Playing together.
And so Tom is writing every week with Jackson Emmer, with John McCutcheon, with Tim O'Brien, with me, with a couple of other folks whose names I can't come up with at the moment. But Tom didn't do a lot of co-writing until the pandemic came along.
Yeah,
and then
is
he
that
was
right?
stuck at home, and he said he discovered YouTube, and he said, "I'm going to call up a few people and write some songs." And now he's writing a couple hundred songs a year with all of his friends.
Little change of. I'm just looking at the time. We should get another song in a minute.
Okay.
But before we do, with talking about Tom and the songwriter retreats.
Yes.
And who was it you just mentioned just
Jackson
now? Jackson. He's involved in all that.
Yes, Jackson Emmer and Tom Paxton were leading a songwriting retreat in Glenwood Springs, Colorado, which is a day's drive from Albuquerque, where I live. Yeah. And I managed to get the last ticket for it. And
that's Providence.
It was Providence. And Tom now refers to that as the retreat at which Daniel showed up under the guise of a student. He's very generous. But we each got to do a few songs in the course of the thing, and Tom was really taken with my songwriting and could see that we like to use language and stories and melodies in similar ways, and he invited me to start writing.
It is, no,
the
it's
came from that.
Synergetic, very synergetic.
But I thank Jackson Emmer so much for creating that opportunity.
That was Jackson.
And then Tom and Jackson invited me back the next year to co-teach the retreat with them, and that was a great treat too. Jackson has a lot of great stuff going on.
Nice. Well, we need to find out, catch up with Jackson at some point. We'll actually put this broadcast out to him, because if it wasn't for him and all that sort of stuff as well.